Hey guys, I'm Rich from NeoWin, and this is the new Motorola Razr. Yes, similar to the one that you know from 15 years ago. That's 2004 was when the original one launched. And it's back, but it's back as a foldable phone. And yes, as you can see from the video, it's not the same as the foldable phones that you're seeing from Samsung and Huawei and other manufacturers. This is actually a clamshell. So it fits into that tiny footprint that we all know and love from the foldable phone days. So yes, it's much smaller. There's a display on the inside. There's a display on the outside. The display on the inside is 6.2 inches. It's 21 by 9, and it has a kind of a custom resolution of 2142 by 876. And yes, it's OLED, as all foldable phones are right now. And I kind of love it. I actually used this thing for the first time at Qualcomm's Snapdragon Technology Summit in Maui. And I walked away saying, you know what, I'm going to buy one. And it's $1,500, making it probably the most expensive Snapdragon 710 phone on the market. But it's just so cool. It's one of those things where it just feels so good to use, and just it's like a fidget spinner, just flipping it open and close, and it feels good. I did ask how many times they've tested it for being open and closed until it breaks, and I couldn't get a straight answer on that. They said they promised they did durability testing, which I'm sure they did, but it would be nice to get a solid number on that. The display on the outside is 2.7 inches, and that's 4 by 3. Well, the one on the inside is 21 by 9. By the way, 21 by 9 is massively tall. Most phones we have, the tallest you're going to see are like 19.5 by 9. So it's a big difference. See, there's a fingerprint sensor in that big chin down there, and that chin is reminiscent of the old Razr, but obviously, there's some changes this time around. Along with the Snapdragon 710, it's got 6 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage, so it should get the job done. Performance isn't something I'm worried about, because really, the phone is just so cool that it kind of makes up for any performance concerns that you might have. It's the form factor that you want, and man, does this thing deliver on that form factor. That rear camera is 16 megapixels. It has a f1.7 aperture, which should be fine for low light. There's aren't additional lenses. The front camera is 5 megapixels, so it's not exactly 2019 specs. Again, it's got to be that form factor that you want. 2510 milliamp hour battery, 18 watt fast charging. So that smaller battery is apparently one of the reasons that they use the Snapdragon 710, just for that extra power efficiency. And yes, it runs Android 9.0 Pie. But I gotta say, it is pretty exciting. The camera specs aren't really impressive. The processor's not impressive. I mean, a 5 megapixel front camera, when was the last time you saw that? But man, it's a Razr, and it's that thing. Like, I mean, for $1,500, you kind of have to want it, and you kind of have to want it how it is. But man, I think I want this thing. It just feels so good to use, and it's just one of those things that's just pleasant. So this guy's still going to be out December 26th. Motorola's going to start taking pre-orders, so you can check it out then, and it's going to launch on January 9th. It does have USB-C, fingerprint sensor in the chin, as I mentioned. There's a notch on top for that front camera. And yeah, that's the Motorola Razr. So if that's the thing you want for $1,500, it can be yours. It will be on Verizon, so you will be able to get a payment plan. So, stay tuned for that. It's going to be exciting, and hopefully I'll get a review on it sooner than later, because, man, I'm pumped for this device. Anyway, guys, that's it. I'm Rich from NeoWin. Have a great night.